Hi, I promised a new video about my Anenji Inverter experience. I'm here to tell you that I've just managed to export just over a megawatt this year. There we go, that's the number, 1,235 units I've managed to export to the grid so far this year. So let's tell you about my experience. As you can see, the inverter's still running. It's a nice sunny day outside at the moment, and right now it is delivering for me 2.4 kilowatts of power into the house and the grid. As you can see from the number on the right, the 0 watts, I've actually changed the configuration of my system now so that it's actually feeding in a bit like a grid tie hybrid inverter, so it's actually feeding most of the power into the actual mains itself rather than into the separate spur from the inverter. You'll also notice the battery light is flashing away there. I've had a terrible experience with the batteries. I think I reported in the text comments in terms of this inverter just doesn't seem to understand flooded cell batteries. I've got no experience of running it with a proper LiPo system, but it just doesn't seem to like the flooded cell batteries I've got outside. Yeah, hi. I've been trying to get some idea of the savings that you're going to be able to make, or at least the payback period on these panels. I've been using the inbuilt app with the Des Monitor service to actually look at how much electricity I'm actually generating month by month and week by week, and work out the math around this. And there's two different sort of sets of figures here that show basically at the top the cost of the panels. They cost me about £3,500 to get them installed and put in. The inverter itself, very cheap, the Anenji model at £500. Miscellaneous £200 worth of fixtures and fittings, connectors, cables, distribution boxes to get them all in. And so far I have generated 2,700 units of electricity. That's based in the information that's coming straight from the app. No reason to disbelieve it. And that gives me the opportunity to export 1,200 units, 1.2 megawatts. Now, that really ought to give me a payback around about £882 a year. That's the offset cost of the units of electricity I've not used at 30 pence per unit, and what I've been able to feed in. And that in theory would mean that my system would pay back, or start to pay me back, after 4.8 years. And over 10 years, it would actually give me in my pocket £4,620, which I thought wasn't bad at all. The figure on column F is the real figure. Because the Anenji is not approved, I can't rate it, get it alluded for a feed-in tariff, so I can't get the measly little 6 pence. But all that pushes out is that this now costs in over 5.2 years rather than 4.7. So in 5 years' time, I'll have broken even. And at the end of the 10-year period, I should still have saved myself about £4,000. And that's just based upon the per unit cost of electricity we've got at the moment, which is about 30 pence a unit. I think I'm buying or offsetting by generating my own with the system and feeding it in, even though I'm not able to take advantage of the feed-in tariff. Yeah, overall, I've been really quite pleased with the performance of the panels themselves. The distribution of power matches almost exactly what the calculators were telling me for the UK and the particular way in which they're facing. And the actual, the peak power I've ever got from them is, believe it or not, around about the 6 kilowatt mark, which makes it very strange. Well, not very strange. I was surprised that they were so close to the manufacturer's specifications. Shouldn't be really, but yeah, very accurate solar panel predictions.